Okay, good day everyone. We are going to talk about Module 7, EEP Course 2, which is Managing Transition from Startup to Growth. This model is important one because it's going to educate us on how we can manage our business growth from startup to the situation or stage where the business becomes very large, big. So managing transition is very important in the sense that failure of an entrepreneur to manage his business growth effectively may result in uh, losing the growth, or maybe uh, decline of the business as it passes through the growth stages. So each stage is important as far as this model is concerned, because entrepreneur needs to manage each and every stage very well to be able to scale to the next stage. And not only that, the model contains a lot of topics ranging from planning, managing stress, and so many other important topics that entrepreneurs normally face as they embark on managing their business growth. So in business, a change is the way things will be different, and transition is how you move people through stages to make change work. We need to understand the difference between change and transition. Change is a kind of a transformation in pattern of your business activity, maybe from manual way of doing your business to hybrid or automation, where you use machines and or robot or something like that, or hybrid, where you combine manual and machines. That is change. Then transition is the process, activities that happen as you embark on the change. You understand the stage, the processes you follow to arrive at that change we talked about is what they call transition, business transition. So in business, change is the way things will be different, and transition is how you move people through the stages to make change work. So managing transition in business from startup to growth has so many elements involved, such as planning, decision making, business control, self-discipline, handling stress and pressures. The entrepreneur or manager will have to be self-disciplined to ensure his or her business translate or her ideas translate into actions. So difference between change and transition. Transition is defined as the process in which something changes from one state to another. That is change. It is not the failure to identify change to a hot organization, meaning that it is not the ability of an entrepreneur or business owner to see the possibility of change, maybe because of low demand of their product or service in the market, or maybe incurring higher cost of operating the business, or losing an important employee. You understand, all these are signal for change. So it's not the identification of this signal that hurt organization, but the ability of the manager or the entrepreneur to implement the needed change to make things happen accordingly. That's what normally hurts the organization. So change is made of event, while transition is an ongoing process. Change is an event from one form to another. Like for example, you were given birth to when you were baby, you started growing, understand, and you become adolescent, and then you become a matured person. And this is how the changes will keep on going until when you become old and maybe finally die out. The same thing with business. You start it, you grow it gradually, it becomes big, and then you sustain the growth. And if care is not taken, if you fail to effectively manage the growth, the business will decline and die out, just like humans die out. That is change. Then the activities that happen as you change your business from very small form to a very large form is called transition. Change is all about outcomes we are trying to achieve. Transition is about how we will get there and how we will manage things while we are en route. So transition in business and phases of business growth. So just like human being, business also has some growth stages. You start it, that is the infant stage, and then gradually it will reach some growth, some level of growth stage called adolescent stage, and then matured stage, when the business become fully matured, where you have large number of employees, and where you have physical structures and span of control. You understand? So we're going to see these stages one after the other. So the first stage is called phase one, startup or infancy stage, or growth through creativity. So at the startup or infancy, the main task is selling the company products, goods and services. At the beginning, your effort would be to market your product, to make awareness about your existing in the market, about your new product or services. That's the most important thing at the starting off. That's why they say about 80% of every time is spent on selling and about 20% on orders, because it is a stage where you are not known in the market. You need to make some promotional activities to be able to communicate to other people or to your target market that you are around with this so product or service. So major functions at the start of entrepreneur is expected to carry out the following activities: mentoring and being mentored, attend seminars, read books, take advice from successful people in the industry or related industry, teaching everything an entrepreneur knows to his employees that will make the business grow. At this stage, you, the entrepreneur, you are the one that knows much about your business. So you need to teach your employees and other related partners on what the business is all about and what is expected of them to do, so that they can help you to achieve the desired success. Certain business target for him and his employee to achieve. You understand? Milestone. A target is a kind of a mental picture of where you want to be in the future with your business. Like when you start in Bayero University, you may likely want to cover the whole of Kano State, and after Kano State you may reach out to other states and then Nigeria as a whole. And as time goes on, your business keeps on growing. You may likely want to go to other countries, and that's how business grows. So phase one, startup or infancy growth creativity continues. Basic challenges of startup phase include completing a sound business plan, finding the right customers, having a team that work together well, delay in processing intellectual property protections. Intellectual property. If you could remember your model 3, the model talks about creativity and intellectual property right. How you can be creative, and how if you eventually create something very valuable, like intangible asset. You understand? They call it intellectual property. How can you protect it? Because we live in an environment where there is high level of piracy. The moment people see a very good business idea, they try to steal it. You understand? Jump at it. You understand? That is why we have a lot of similar businesses all over around. You understand? So how can you protect your own intellectual property so that nobody copies or duplicates your business or your business model, so that you Ellen enjoy your effort to some reasonable time? And then create insufficient cash and finding the funding required for the business start. Of course, creating a business, not a job. Gaining market share and support from the family, friends. Most businesses at the beginning, you rely on your friends. That is why your phone contact, your WhatsApp, your Facebook friends, your Twitter followers, your Instagram followers are very important, because they are going to be your first contact when you start your business. So keep a very close relationship with those people. An overview for this phase is that an entrepreneur who founded the firm is busy creating product and opening up market with informal communication. At the starting of, there will not be any structure. So at this stage you operate informally, with no formal structure within the organization, where you will have a kind of a chain of command and all this. The command normally comes from you, the entrepreneur, directly to the employees, because there is no any in between. So the first end with leadership crisis, because you Ellen will be the one that will be managing everything. In this stage, you may, as the business grows, you may need to have some other helping hands that will help you to expand the sphere of control. You understand? So this space normally have a leadership crisis where somebody will be needed to come and help the entrepreneur to manage the business. Then phase 2, past growth or childhood, otherwise known as growth through direction. So past growth or childhood phase of business is characterized by increase in employee size and income. The main task should be on aggressive proliferation of new products or services. So at this stage, business began to grow rapidly, and the number of employees will automatically grow, because when your business size grow, that is when the demand increase in the marketplace. Definitely the raw material will increase, and the need for people that will process the raw material will also increase, so you will need more employees. And when you produce more, you are likely going to get more income, because you are going to sell more in the market and get more money. So this is a stage where the business become a little bit stable. And then phase 3, fast growth. This is basic challenges for the fast growth include having the discipline to maintain focus, transitioning from owner to leader, confronting future growth, managing cash flow effectively, founder complete on roles and tasks, sticking to product schedules, building and growing a customer base, having the right business leadership skills, and getting overwhelmed by growth. So an overview for this phase is that this phase end up with autonomy crisis, because at this stage there will be need for formal organizational structure where you will have functional areas within your business. This is a stage where the business has grown into a fully matured business, where you need to have a distinct production department, marketing department, human resource department, and all this, so that you will have formal organization. So if care is not taken, you may end up having a autonomy crisis, because each part of the organization will try to seek for its autonomy. And then the last phase is the second to the last is maturity. This is where the business grow into fully matured business. This is maturity phase. It is characterized by a large number of employees. Opportunity of phase 4 business include selling the business privately and taking the business public. At this stage, the only needed investment is through sale of shares and inviting more investors into the business. So the role of an entrepreneur here: employee contribute positively, manager develop procedure to get work done, supervision, etc. Business builder articulate values, philosophy, and vision or supervision. Well builder determines what the company is worth and what to do to increase its worth or value. So the last phase is growth through collaboration. At this stage, the business has exploited all the possible avenue for growth. So the only available option is to collaborate with other businesses to maybe increase their size and grow. You understand? So this is they call it growth through collaboration. And then growth through extra organizational solution. Greener recently added a sixth phase, which showed that growth may continue through the merger, outsourcing, network, and other solutions involving other companies. Growth rate will vary even between phases. So this is a stage where the only growth that is available is through merger, acquisition, and all this, licensing, franchising, and all this. You also have STARS model. Sorry. So let's go to the topic 2, planning and decision making in transition. We have seen some basics of transition stages, what is expected of an entrepreneur at each stage, and then we need to also talk about the planning. Planning and decision making are very important factors in decision business transition, because business transition involves a lot of planning, decision making, and so many other things that entrepreneur needs to carry out. So what is planning? Planning can be defined as a process of setting objectives and putting up the necessary steps to achieve the objectives. That's the main definition of plans. And planning is generally into two forms. It can be corporate level or lower level. Planning in most businesses takes place at two levels. At the corporate level, that is at the higher level of the organization, where the CEOs, the chief executive officers, you understand, sit down and discuss all discusses planning. And then you have plan at the strategic level, where issues concerning an operation and all these are talked about. First steps in planning process. Planning like any other activity involves steps that you need to follow to achieve to have an effective planning. So the first step is analyzing the environment, identifying investment opportunities. Second step is setting your objectives. So the first step, you need to look at your environment and make sure all the indicators and factors that will help you to achieve your plan are available. And then you set up your objectives. Plans, when you have a plan, you normally have some supporting plans that will help you to achieve the main plans. So you need to set up the objectives as supporting plans. Focusing the environment or developing the planning premises, and then you need to study your environment and analyze it and make sure all factors that will help you to achieve your plan are available. And then determine the alternative courses of action, and then you need to determine the possibilities, course of actions that you need to take to achieve your plan. You need to have like plan A, plan B, plan C, you understand. And then you need to evaluate your alternative courses of action. You need to analyze them and see which one is going to favor you most in terms of cost, in terms of efficiency, and all this. And then you need to select the course of action that will serve you best, and then you need to formulate some supporting plans that will help you to achieve the course of action that you consider worth undertaking. And then you need to budget for the plan, because every activity will need money and other resources, so you need to budget it and achieve effective plan. So these are the 8 steps in planning process. So if you plan, what are the benefits you stand to get as an entrepreneur? There is an adage which says failure to plan is a plan to fail, you understand. It's very clear, you understand. So what are the benefits business normally gets when they plan? Number one, maximize business value, control how and when to exit the production of a good, set and establish action to achieve business goals, determine the day-to-day business responsibility, because when you plan, you determine the activities that will do to achieve your goal, you understand. So that will help you to determine what you should do at a particular time and period. Ensure survival of the business and strategy for growth, reduce employee uncertainty and turnover, and produces strategic options. And then decision making. So decision making. Now, decision making in business transition is another important aspect of managing transition. So decision making is the process of identifying and selecting the course of action to solve a specific problem. Every day we take decision. Every day when you wake up, you will have some number of activities to carry out, and you normally decide how you want to take, how you want to carry out those activities, you understand. What and what you should do, what and what do you need, you understand. All these are part of the decision you make on a daily basis. So decision making involves the selection of one alternative from two or more possible alternatives based on open sum criteria. You understand? So some decisions are relatively straightforward and simple, others are quite complex. Some decisions are repetitive in nature, like routines. Are some things you normally do on a daily basis. So those ones are very simple decisions to take because it's something you are used to, like program decisions. And then there are some decisions that normally come one-off. You don't normally encounter them. They normally happen when a situation arises. So they sometimes come very complex, and sometimes you may find yourself in a situation where all the possible outcomes of your decision may not be available. So you need to take decision under certain conditions. For possible solution, usually alert the entrepreneur that there is problem that require a decision to be made. A deviation from experience, a deviation from existing plans, external sources, e.g. customers, clients, etc. Performance or lack of it from the competitors. These are the 4 areas that indicate that a decision needs to be taken when you have these four problems. And then we have programmed and non-programmed decision. Programmed decision are routine and repetitive decisions that are associated with standardized decision rules, procedures, policies, or regulations. For example, deciding how much to pay a newly employed person is something that you are used to because you have been employing people, so you know how much you pay the newly employed person. You understand? So it's called program decision because it's a routine in your company. It's something that happens on a daily basis or from time to time. And then we have non-program decision, a decision that occurs so infrequently that standardized decision rules to solve them are not available. They are decisions that you don't normally encounter them, you don't normally take them, so they are infrequent, and you don't have standard method of handling them because it's not something that happens on a daily basis. So they are so important that they must be specially handled. For example, how do we cope with the issue of business transition, stress, or declining sales in your organization? All these are something that happen impromptu, you understand, sometimes unexpected. So you need to take a decision to discover what are the real problem and then try to apply solutions. So just like the planning planning process, decision making also has its own process. Number one is to create a constructive environment, that is to devise different alternative courses of action that will help you to achieve your plan. Generate good alternatives, explore the alternatives, choose the best alternative, check your decision, communicate your decision, and then move to action and implement. Level of strategic decisions. We have 3 levels of strategic decisions: functional decisions, business decision, corporate level decisions. Then condition under which managers make decisions. We have decision making under condition of certainty, condition of risk, condition of uncertainty. So decision making under condition of certainty, enough information to know exactly what the outcomes of this decision would be are none. You understand? If you are taking a decision under certainty, it means you know exactly what is going to happen at the end, like the result. You understand? When you're dealing with a kind of a non-environment or issues that normally happens like routines, you normally take a condition under you may take a decision under situation of certainty because you are very much assured of the likely outcomes of your decisions and what is really going to be the result. And then condition under condition of risks. The entrepreneur knows the probability of each of the various possible outcomes associated with a decision, even though they cannot be completely certain which particular outcome will actually happen. So under this, you may know the probability of each possible outcomes, but you may not know exactly what is really going to be the result of your decisions. And then condition of uncertainty. Here there is complete absence of information that will help you to make an informed decision. So under here, entrepreneurs normally use their experience, their judgment and intuition to assign approximate probabilities to each of the available alternatives so that they will predict the likely outcomes of their decisions. So things to remember in decision making. Every decision must result in contribution toward goal attainment. No one can please all. Usually there are several satisfying choices or alternatives to pick from. Creative thinking should be focused in decision making. Effective decision making requires patient time. Realize that change is inevitable as you make your decisions. Institute follow-ups to each decision made. Realize that a decision will start or spark off a chain of actions and reactions. Practice decision making to acquire proficiency in the act so that when a situation warrants, you take appropriate decision. And then we have business control. What is business control? This is the process of measuring and correcting the activities of subordinates to ensure that plans are completed and goals are achieved accordingly. We are talking about managing transition. In managing transition, you need to make some control to make sure things are moving according to plan. You understand? That's the whole essence of control. So control is implemented by comparing actual result to plan result and correcting any significant differences. So when you plan, you understand, you try to monitor your plan and make sure the activities and the internal plan is moving according to your plan. You understand? The moment you sense any deviation, there is a problem. So your ability to exercise some actions that will help you to track back your plan to its right course is called control. So entrepreneurs need to control their business by continually monitoring the use and performance of resources, especially money and people. So business control types and technique. Different types of control include the following: financial control, inventory. Financial control, is a control you normally have in place to control your finances, the money. You understand? This includes, the credit control. You understand? And so many other financial related issues. And then inventory control, you need to manage your raw material, your product and services, and make sure you have neither overstocking nor understocking in your warehouse. Quality control, it's a control that you will have in place to make sure the quality standard is achieved. And then credit control. And then we have control techniques. We have budgeting, where you list all your expenses and expenditure. You understand, in relation to determine expected income. And then break-even analysis is an analysis you make to determine if you can be able to operate at a level where you neither make profit nor loss, so that you continue operating in order to sustain the business. And then financial analysis. And then we have internal and external control. Control of business activities. Internal control involves the creation of management system to control the business activities. For example, there will be a control system for managing the quality of product coming of a production line, for the management of waste and pollution, for monitoring employees' absence rate, to ensure that the best candidates are recruited to a company. And then you have external control, which involves the use of external auditors, independent assessors, among others. Then business span of control and hierarchy in the transition. Span of control is the number of people under your control as an entrepreneur. So in a business of more than one person, or at least the business has equal partners, then there are managers and subordinates. A hierarchy describes the structure of management of the business, who report to whom. A hierarchy is in most situations a kind of a diagrammatical representation of positions within the organization. Who is answerable to who in the organization, from where the command comes from, and to where the command normally lands. That's what they call a hierarchy in the organization. So this is a good example of the hierarchy. As you can see it, diagrammatically, at the top we have managing director, and then we have functional managers, sales and marketing director, production director, human resource director, and finance director. In other organization, you may have sales and marketing manager, production manager, human resource manager, and finance manager. And each of these managers or directors, they have their own staff under them who report to them, you understand, and are answerable to them. So this is what a typical example of hierarchy in an organization. Then the next topic is personal discipline in business transition. As you manage your business growth, it's very important to exercise some discipline to be able to keep yourself focused on the business so that you will not deviate. We have a lot of young people that are very much materialistic. They really want to partake in the modern world activities like fashion, you understand, and all this. So a lot of them spend a lot of their business money, which ordinarily is supposed to be invested to increase the level of the business. So we need to talk about discipline in managing transition. So what is discipline? Discipline means doing what needs to be done when it needs to be done, whether the entrepreneur likes it or not. It is for this reason self-discipline is required for starting and growing a business to enable the entrepreneur overcome all the difficult obstacles along his way. So what is discipline? Is patience, motivation, determination. That's this self-discipline. So when you have these three ingredients, you have self-discipline. When you can exercise patience, you understand, and focus your mind on what the business needs, then your personal needs, then you can be able to attain self-discipline. And then you need to have motivation, self-motivation, and all other motivation that will help you to keep on going regardless of the difficulties or situation you encounter. And then you need to have a strong determination to be able to grow your business, because you need to have a kind of a mental picture of where you want to be and stick to that and make sure your business achieve that success. Then successful entrepreneurs are usually hard driven and highly focused on some specific goals. It is a discipline for entrepreneurs to talk for hours about all their ideas and how they intend to change the world, but without any specific goal or milestone. All entrepreneurs need to exercise self-control to ensure success. So tip for self-discipline: decide exactly what to be done, the goal, that is your goal. So when you embark on any activity, not only business start off and growth, any activity, studying, whatever it is, you need to know exactly what you want to achieve, and then you need to write it down so that it will help you to keep you focused. You understand? You need to have a kind of I think they call it motivation board, where you write all your goals and aspiration and put them on a wall, so that every morning when you wake up you will see them, and that will help you to keep on driving you toward your goal. And then you need to set a deadline with specific milestone, that is the date. You understand? You need to have a kind of a milestone, that is a kind of a future a target of where you want to be, and then make a list of things to be done to achieve the goals. Organize the list according to priorities, just like the scale of preference in economics, where you arrange your need and want in accordance to their importance. You also list your activities in accordance to their priorities to your business, and then take action on your plan immediately. Don't delay. That is procrastination. Is very much uh, uh, very harmful to the business. And then do something every day in the direction of your major goal, regardless of the size or intensity of the activity. Make sure you do something every day that will move you around your goals attainment, regardless of the momentum. You understand? So sustainability is very important. And then avoid distraction. Use internet, cell phones, ipad and laptops wisely. You understand? Don't let social media distract you. If you look at most of the modern of the current versions of most of the phones operating system, they have focus mode, where you will try to off all the important or distracting apps in your phone, like the social media apps, Facebook, WhatsApp, and all this, so that they will not be distracting you while you handle your business affairs. And the benefit of entrepreneurial self-discipline. Self-discipline will ensure that entrepreneurs' thoughts are translated into actions and goals are achieved. Self-discipline will help the entrepreneur accommodate additional responsibilities. Discipline will make the entrepreneur dependable and have a strong desire and passion for achievement. Discipline will help the entrepreneur learn to manage stress and allow him to think critically and clearly in any environment. It keeps the entrepreneur focused and does not let external factors distract him from his original goals. It leads to judicious use of limited resources. And then the last topic is stress and pressure in business transition. Apart from the self-discipline, you also need to manage stress, because you will be involved in a lot of things, a lot of activities that relate to business growth and transition. So it's very important to know how you can manage your stress so that you will not fall sick. So definition of stress. Stress is a state which affects the nervous system and causes it to swing into action and stimulate the various body organs to slow down or increase their normal activities. So stress is not dangerous if it is little, because it helps to increase performance. Some people are very much they perform wonderfully in a very intense stress condition, while others are very much affected by the stress. So it's very important for somebody to manage stress very well, so that there wouldn't be sickness and or any other things that may stop you from achieving your business objectives. So stress is only dangerous when it is too much, because it becomes counterproductive. Performance improves with increasing amount of stress up to an optimum point, beyond which there will be decline in the performance, because it's a point at which an entrepreneur cannot bear. However, it is important to note that the optimum point varies from individual to individuals, and it varies in the same individual from time to time. However, optimum point can be changed by the lifestyle of individuals and the eating habits. So recognizing pressure and avoiding stress. The 5 main causes of work-related stress that CIPD identify were workloads. As an entrepreneur, you need to manage the level of the work you handle, and this is the essence why you need to delegate to other people to carry out some especially less important activities, so that you will off yourself from too much activities. And then management style, you need to have an appropriate management style, the one that will not cause much problem to you. And then your relationship at work with other managers and other employees is very important. Organizational change and structuring. Lack of employee support from the line managers. Common cause of stress. Demand. When the demand is too high, it will stress the business people, and they will become overloaded. You understand? For entrepreneurs, the demand will include responsibility for the work of others, conflicting objectives, role overload, etc. And then control. An entrepreneur's role as the coordinator or monitor can be stressful, especially where resources are inadequate. Role ambiguity, incompatibility, and role conflict, e.g. overlapping roles and role incompatibility may cause stress to an employee or a manager. Relationship problems. Entrepreneurs who have difficulty with their employees or their colleagues may exhibit symptoms of stress. So common causes of stress: support, uncertainty, job-related sources, interpersonal relationship sources, family and individual sources. And then symptoms of stress. Physical symptoms: you may have headache, nausea, breathlessness, nail biting, restlessness, high blood pressure, inability to sleep well or read well, frequent crying, lack of appetite, frequent indigestion or heartburn, constipation or diarrhea, insomnia, constant tiredness, tendency to sweat quickly, out of control behavior like shouting, violence, aggression, taking too much drugs, alcohol, and cigarettes. And then psychologically or mental symptoms include forgetfulness, emotional instability, tiredness, indecisiveness, loss of sense of humor, hostility toward others, tendency to blame others, lack of interest in anything, rigidity, depression, slow on learning new things, feeling of being a failure, and difficulty in concentrating. So stress-related element. So stressful people, normally have this kind of a problem: diabetes, tuberculosis, constipation, hypertension, migraine, overactive thyroid gland, skin disorder, depression, peptic ulcer, heart attack, hay fever, and allergies. These are some of the symptoms that ailments that normally happen to people who are stressful people. So 10 stress management technique for the entrepreneurs. Clarify your personal vision and avoid time wasters. Call time out each day and take your vacation, e.g. create time for leisure. Change your eating habit, behavior. Play more and laugh more. Celebrate achievement. Empower self by confronting the sources of stress and get excited always. Handle conflict positively. Monitor critical self-talk. Become more self-caring. Remember, read, realization. Remember, read, relax, exercise, attitude, and have a positive attitude, and you need to have a very good balanced diet. So this is all we can take on this module, managing transition. I hope you have grasped a lot of points out of it. So in case there are some concern, because the model is too bulky, it's very bulky, I had to treat it very fast because of the time allocated to the online something, you understand. So anybody who has a concern, a question or observation can drop it at the forum for us to respond to. Thank you very much for your time.